Welcome to Up to the Minute. It's a Thursday, the last day of March, the 31st. Good to have you with us. I'm Todd Duplantis. We have got a great show for the next half hour lined up for you, your HCC news and information. First off, we want to welcome everyone watching us on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for being here. You can catch us live at 10 a.m. every morning when HCC's in session. That's during the weekdays. We're also on HCCTV, and my co-host this morning is joining me from the HCCTV studios. Good morning, Alberta. Let's see if we can get you to unmute your mic.
Oh,
there you go.
How are you doing this morning?
It's good. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm excited about the show.
Excited about the show, but I know one thing you're not excited about is we don't have coffee at HCCTV this morning.
Yeah. I'm cranking through it right now.
Yeah, we got to work on that. I don't know what's going on there, but we got to figure that out. So we'll see what we can do to get you some coffee up there next time you're in the studio.
Maybe I just have a problem.
I don't know. If we bring our own coffee, we're used to it, but you're only there a couple of days a week. So you'll learn the ropes sooner or later. Hey, we're on Facebook and YouTube, but folks can always watch us in social media, and we're on HCCTV.
Yes, so we are definitely live on Houston Community College District Facebook page and YouTube. And you can also find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and HCCTV, noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. So make sure you type in Houston Community College to avoid confusion.
Yeah, Houston Community College District. There you go.
District.
Add the district on there. There you go.
District.
All right, Alberta, stick around because you're going to be interviewing this next guest. It is Virtual Family Fun Day. And this next organization has a couple of events coming up we're going to talk about. Jim Ushkrat is joining us this morning. Jim, good to see you with us. You're the board chair of the Fort Bend Family Promise. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you've got some events coming up, some big events. One of them very exciting, a celebrity waiter contest. So we're going to hear all about those things in just a few minutes. So stand by, grab some coffee. We'll be with you in about 10 minutes.
Will do.
All right. First off, we're going to take you out to the West Houston Institute. Well, maybe to his house, but he works with the West Houston Institute. We're talking about Dr. John Swann. He's the coordinator out there at the WHI. Welcome back to the show, John. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you, Todd.
So you've got a program going out there. You are the chief facilitator and developer of the Innovation Fellows program. Of course, innovation is one of the pillars of HCC. We always talk about it. Tell us what the Fellows program is involved with this.
So the Fellows program is a foundational part of what WHI, West Houston Institute's vision has been from the beginning. We had that innovation pillar at HCC, and the WHI was established as an innovation center, a way to actualize that. But we're a big district. We're not going to have everybody come here. So the Fellows program is a way of extending out our philosophies and our methods on innovation and getting it out through the rest of the system.
So it's kind of born at the West Houston Institute, but it's certainly spread out across the college. Who are the Innovation Fellows themselves?
Well, the Innovation Fellows program, because of the way that we approach innovation, is very much deliberately cross-departmental. It's cross-disciplinary. So the Innovation Fellows includes faculty and staff. It includes any kind of discipline out there that's associated with HCC. Really, it's just as long as you're a full-time HCC employee, you can apply to be one of the fellows. So the thing that's in common amongst the Innovation Fellows is that desire to see change, that desire to approach things in a new manner, in a fresh vision. That's what they have in common. Outside of that unified desire, we deliberately want them to be diverse, because the way we approach innovation is getting two different things that haven't been joined together before. And when they join together, that's a new intersection. And that means there's new thought involved. And that's how we generate new ideas.
And what's the process of applying if someone wants to become an Innovation Fellow?
Well, the process is pretty simple. It's a year-long, academic year-long program. So what we do in the fall is we'll send out the notification, and the notification will take you to a Microsoft Forms link. And then you just fill in a few simple questions. None of it are designed to be gotcha questions. They're more to get us to understand you and how you fit the program, and provide us with a CV so we can see where you've been. The questions are designed to kind of get an idea of where you want to go. And then we'll interview, myself and the director of WHI, Jordan Carswell, will interview, and we go through the selection process. Unfortunately, not everyone can be taken in every cohort, but we'll go through a selection process and form a cohort that way.
And how do you approach innovation in these cohorts?
So our approach to innovation, like I said, is founded on this idea of bringing new perspectives, new thoughts involved. And so as a year-long program, we want to make sure we take our time to develop the fullness of what that means. We need people to understand that innovation is not new technology. It's not having new stuff. It's how we think and how we apply those things. And so we kind of have two phases. We have an incubation and an implementation phase. And so the first semester is mostly that incubation phase. And that's trying to get people in the right mindset of innovation, exploring what it means to be innovative. Innovation has become almost one of those things that everybody talks about it, but what is it? So that first semester, we focus on that. And then we don't want to just stay in your mind, because that's creative, but it's not innovative. Innovation has to actualize. And so that second semester is our project phase. And so we go through a number of different scale projects, applying those mindsets to develop these new things that we can then offer out to the rest of HCC.
What are some of the projects you've worked on, and where do you get the projects? Are they suggested by the president, the chancellor, a group, a committee? How does that work?
Actually, the projects are developed by the fellows themselves. So every fellow will have a chance to work on an individual project that's their own particular desire. And then the largest scale project we do, a cohort project, is really developed by the fellows. Generally speaking, I will come up with, and I'll do it in collaboration with other people because I don't have all the ideas. So I'll collaborate with other people and come up with a general direction. And then we just put that in front of the fellows and say, this is the general direction, how you want to do it. And seeing them create a new project from the ground up is really a magnificent thing.
You know, when we're looking for innovation at HCCTV, one of the first things we do is go to our students who work for us to get new, fresh ideas. Do you guys bring students into this, or do your fellows work with students to get some ideas towards innovation?
So most of our projects are very much student focused, student facing, everything student focused, but student facing. And so we use design thinking principles. So the very first thing we do when we first get an idea on a project is go through that empathy phase. And that is interacting. Our fellows will survey their students. Our fellows will have these conversations. We invite them to be a part of our early test runs on what we're doing. Because if it sounds grand to us, but the students aren't buying it, then it's really not going to affect their success. And ultimately, that's our goal.
How many people do you have involved in these cohorts and in the fellow, as far as fellows themselves?
So the cohorts have varied in size through the different years, but this next year will be our fifth year of the Innovation Fellows. And so we've kind of found that sweet spot is about a dozen fellows of first-year fellows. We've recently added a second year that we call it our journeyman year, where we have some fellows come back and they help guide the program. They help with the development of the first year fellows. And that's about 3 or 4 fellows there. So you're looking at a cohort size total of about 12 to 14 or 15 people.
And as far as getting involved, is there a website that they can go to get more information on this if you're faculty or staff and you're interested in applying?
So we don't have a robustly developed Innovation Fellows website. Of course, they can go to hccs.edu/WHI, which is the West Houston Institute website. And it has all our programs, including a page on the Innovation Fellows. But if you really want to understand the Fellows program, that's best done through conversation and collaboration as opposed to just reading on a web page. So if anyone has any questions, they are obviously more than welcome to contact me at john.swann@hccs.edu.
We'll include your email address in our social media post in the West Houston Institute's website as well. Dr. John Swann, coordinator of the West Houston Institute, thanks for joining us this morning. Good to see you.
Thank you, Todd. I enjoyed it. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care of yourself. All right, I'm going to turn things over to Alberta. It's Virtual Family Fun Day, and you've got a cool thing. You've got some a very great organization out in the Fort Bend County area that's doing some events that are a lot of fun to raise some funding so they can help others. Maybe you can tell us all about it, Alberta.
Absolutely. So we're moving on to Jim Ushkrad, the board chair of the Fort Bend Family Promise. Thank you for joining us, Jim. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Doing well.
Awesome. So exciting program that you have here, and we would love to talk about it. So please tell us about the organization and what is it that you do?
Okay. Fort Bend Family Promise started in 2005 here in Fort Bend County because there really was no place for families experiencing temporary homelessness to go when crisis hits. And especially we focus on the kids. So we're really a program that really focuses on assisting kids and families experiencing homelessness to help regain self-sufficiency.
Okay. So you say that you mostly focus on children. So it's mothers who are struggling with homelessness, correct?
Well, it's
mothers
and
families.
Yes. Any family, I mean, it has to have children involved under 18. But it can,
under 18.
We've had mothers, we've had single moms, we've had single fathers, we've had grandparents that have custody of the kids and so forth that found themselves out on the street. And so we take them in and provide them a safe place to stay temporarily while they can get their funding back together and get into an apartment, or some other new housing that's safe for them. There's really no place for them to go right now in the county.
Well, you're doing some amazing things. You don't have to tell me everything. I can see that now. So what about your in-house programs? What can you tell us about those?
Well, what we try to do with the families is we have a housing navigator that helps them find suitable housing as soon as possible. Most of the families are only with us maybe 4 or 6 weeks at the most. That we've had exceptions to that. Sometimes they're with us a couple of days and they're able to secure safe housing. So where they just need a place to go that's safe. And we help them with the housing. We also have a youth empowerment planning program that we work with the young people. We get them involved in sports programs and other after-school activities and so forth, because the kids, they're going through a tough time too. And especially the older youths that are the teenagers, it's shameful to them that they're out on the street or they're living in a insecure place that isn't really safe for them, and the stigma of being homeless is really difficult. Right. So we try to work with them to empower them as well.
So are they, the kids that you're referring to, are they usually in school? Are they usually out of school because they are struggling with the homelessness?
Yeah, they're almost always in school. In fact, that's where we get most of our referrals is from, the local school districts, Fort Bend ISD, Lamar, and so forth.
That's great. So what is your Foodies for Families project?
Well, yeah, we started that last year. It's been difficult. Family Promise, the model is such that we partner with area churches and faith houses and community service providers and so forth to find housing for the families. So the families actually stay at the churches or the faith houses during the evening and so forth. And we have to feed them. And so it was difficult with contact, with COVID. To provide food for them. So what we ended up doing is working with some of the restaurants, and it's kind of a win-win program. We support both the Family Promise guests, local restaurants, by purchasing a gift card, and then they prepare that meal for the families. So it comes from the restaurant partners, and they've been enthusiastic about supporting this.
Wow, I've actually never heard of that. Restaurants, combining with the organization to actually give back, because we see that in Houston all the time. And I really wish there were more organizations like that. So let's talk about some of your fun events coming up. So starting with Family Fun Walk. Tell us a little more about the Family Fun Walk.
Yeah, it's a new concept. We've never done this before. We are having a fun walk. It's April 30th, and it's at Buffalo Run Park in Missouri City. And it's from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And basically, it's a fundraiser. We're hoping to raise $6,000. It try to highlights and publicizes, community engagement that helps us to highlight the problem of homelessness that's often hidden. People don't know that there are homeless in our midst. And so it's a way to get that visibility and so forth, and help us with funding, because our expenses have risen drastically during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, I bet. And the community, they're much more inclined to get involved now, especially after COVID. Everyone sees everybody struggling. So it's bittersweet to say that it's great that the community finally realizes just how in-depth that can be in their city. So so basically there's a celebrity waiter dinner. Is that what it is?
It's a new concept. We tried to come up with something different with all the different fundraising events that we have in the county. We tried to come up with something different that would be fun. And we had kind of a trial run last year, right after as the pandemic started to wind down, and had it outdoors. And it was a lot of fun, but basically we get the community celebrities, the CEOs of some of the companies out here, mayors, council members, judges, and so forth, to be a waiter and recruit people for their table, have a table, and then they're the waiter. They become the servant king. Yes, that's right. So
I was actually going to ask, who were these community members that were getting involved? Is it the police department? Is it the fire departments? I was going to ask you that. So
all the above. We'll be talking to everybody. But actually, the waiters all had a lot of fun too, it's a way for them to kind of expand their network and have some fun with it and so forth. And we have a guest MC, and we can't quite announce it yet, but it's a nationally known celebrity who's going to be our MC. Wow,
that's exciting.
So
we can't get an exclusive peek right now. Sorry to the HCCTV viewers.
I'm not on. I'm just the board chair. I'm not on the committee. So yeah.
Okay. So you said the celebrity waiter dinner, that'll be in the fall of this year?
Yes. Excuse me. Yeah, it's October 29th at 5:30 p.m. at Safari, Texas, in Richmond.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jim. We really appreciate you coming by to talk with us at the HCCTV. And we will be posting more information about my talk with Jim this morning after the show.
All right. Thank you very much, Alberta.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jim and Alberta. Some great information on a great cause out in Fort Bend County. Okay, we got some news and announcements to go through. HCC is returning with career fairs. The HCC Career and Job Placement Services has more career fairs coming up. One of them's happening today. Put it on your calendar. Happens today, March 31st. All Majors Career Fair at HCC's Northwest A-Leaf Hayes and HCC Advanced Manufacturing Hiring Fair out in Stafford. You're looking for a job? Now's the time to go out there, get a job, and start getting paid. That's the big thing, right? To register for exactly. That's a good thing.
Go get a job, guys. It's on HCCTV. HCC's Career Hub is where you will find it. So if you get lost in the student portal, just go straight to the Career Hub.
We've been working with HCC's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department on a podcast series, and they cover special topics all throughout the month. The next one is Thursday, April the 7th. It happens at 11:30. Special guest, Darren Baskin, Dr. Darren Baskin. He's the Director of Faculty DEI Initiatives. He's also a great guest on the show. In fact, we got to get Darren on again. We'll put him on a calendar and get him on the show. He's a wonderful guest. You can listen to him live next week, Thursday, April 7th at 11:30. Check your emails to register for the podcast. Also, the foundation has a gala coming up, Alberta.
Yes, they do. So save the date for the HCC Foundation Gala. So HCC's Foundation Gala is coming up, and that'll be the celebration for Saturday, May 14th. If you want more information, we will provide a link after the show.
Okay, we've got a special exhibit. Matt Manalo creates work that involves elements in painting, drawing, sculpture, photography, and printmaking using raw materials found, collected, or donated. Sounds cool? Ooh. Well, this makes his practice environmentally conscious, as well as understanding the idea of scarcity and abundance. Want to see this cool exhibit? It runs through May the 15th at the Wedge Space Arts Lab at HCC Southeast College. Registration is not required. You can check out this event. We'll have an email address in our social media post. And some congratulations goes out to our own Izzy Anderson. She's now been named the new Chief Human Resources Officer here at HCC, Alberta.
That is really exciting. So we have our chancellor named Izzy Anderson, HCC's new Chief Human Resources Officer. So Dr. Anderson stepped into the role of 2021 and has had leadership years of leadership experience. So in addition to her dealings with legal and management letters for HCC, talent engagement, and institutional policy development, brought value continuity in operations during this transition.
Yeah, and prior to being selected for the interim HR role, Dr. Anderson served as an assistant general counsel and a deputy general counsel at HCC, where she handled employment law as well as legal support to compliance partners. Her career in higher education began at U of H, go Cougs, University of Houston. She was the director of financial aid scholarship services. She also served as assistant general counsel with HISD. Great to have her officially on board in this new role. Congratulations to Izzy. Okay, summer registration is going on now, Alberta. If you want to take classes for the summer, sign up now. And guess what? We're going to be talking fall 2022 registration because the schedule's coming out soon.
Coming up super, super soon, everybody. So it's time to start thinking about your summer registration and fall registration. It's around the corner. You don't want to hesitate. So just think of these dates. We have April 11th. Everyone can check out the schedule. Make sure you have all of your prerequisites in order. By April 18th, we have the priority registration for vets and Eagle Promise program. April 25th, everyone can register, so get ready.
That's right. So you can register on the 25th, but that priority registration is a big deal, especially if you're in the Eagle Promise program or you are a veteran of our military services. So there are 5 ways you can take courses. Now, we started something different during the pandemic. You know, we've had online courses here at HCC for quite some time, but in March of 2020, it's hard to believe it's over 2 years ago when we went off. And many people have yet to return, but some of us still working remotely, some of us doing a little bit of both. But anyway, online classes are the norm now. We've got about 60% of our students taking these online classes. If you want to take classes fully online, no problem. We've got 2 ways you can do it. You like taking classes whenever you want? Well, it's called online anytime. Number 2 is online on a schedule, meaning you log in at a certain time. Say you take biology, you want to take it at 10:30. You can log on, interact with your professor. You can interact with your peers, your classmates, and you can take it on a schedule, but you're fully remote. We also have hybrid courses here, meaning you take some of it online. They'll do some of the lectures online. Then you go in person for a portion of the class. And they have hybrid labs as well, where you can take some of it online and some of it in person. And then I want to say back in October, we returned fully to in-person classes on HCC campuses. So if you're the type of person that says, you know what, I may want to take 1 or 2 classes online, but I want to go to a campus and take a class in person, sitting at a desk with my classmates, no problem. You can do that, but those classes are very small, meaning you got to register early in order to get the class you want, the time you want, the professor you want. But those in-person classes are open on various campus locations. Make sure you register today. Go to hccs.edu/apply for all your registration needs. So tomorrow on the show, Alberta, have you ever seen A Christmas Carol? You've seen the movie, I'm sure, right?
I believe I have.
Okay. Well, in person, the play is phenomenal. The guy that's going to be on the show tomorrow, I met him about maybe 30 years ago. And he was playing the role. Well, I'll let him tell you what role he played in the play, but he worked for the Alley Theater. And I did a story on the Alley Theater's production of A Christmas Carol. I got to meet him. I got to interview him backstage while he was putting on his makeup and did a behind the scenes look of the show. It was really cool. Well, I just ran into him about 2 or 3 years ago. And I went up to him like, hey, dude, you remember me? And he's like, actually, I do. You used to be a reporter. So anyway, so we talked about it. His name is John Franklin Felch. He's an actor now. He's in films. He still does plays. He doesn't work for the Alley anymore, but he's a drama instructor. So he's going to be on the show tomorrow for Film Friday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So he's going to be talking about the Christmas Carol. I'm
going to get him to talk about the Christmas Carol. Yeah. And it's funny because, you know, at the Alley Theater, they all rotate they rotate the roles. So especially for the reoccurring plays. So they may play one role one year, then they'll play another role one year. So we'll have him talk all about that. But he's played several roles throughout A Christmas Carol, you know, from Scrooge to one of the ghosts, you know, all of that. So we'll have him talk all about that tomorrow. And we're also going to be talking with the University of Houston as well tomorrow.
Yes, so the University of Houston is leading an initiative called Houston GPS. So it is not what you think when you hear that acronym. It actually stands for Guided Pathways to Success, as in graduation. So we will hear all about that tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we're a great partner of U of H, so we're looking forward to talking about that partnership as well. They'll be on the show. Okay, Alberta, thanks for being here this morning. We'll see you next week, right?
Yes, you will. I will be back on Monday.
All right, we'll see you next week. Meanwhile, we'll see all of you tomorrow, 10 a.m. live for Up to the Minute.